The clearing member do not get right over the securities in demat account held with CDSL and NDSL state whether it is true or false. It is true. The arbitration reference is closed after examination of documents submitted by party, examination of all relevant documents, both 1 and 2. Both 1 and 2 is correct. When person can set the quantity plus amount limits for individual orders entered by self by specifying the order limit. Dealer. Dealer is the person who can set the quantity amount limits for an individual order entered by self by specifying the order limit. The clearing corporation is linked to the system of dash to affect settlements, both bank and depository. The clearing corporation is linked to the system of both bank and depository to affect settlements. The pay-in of fund and equity derivative segment has to happen before 8:30 on the settlement day. The pay-in of funds and equity derivative segment has to be happen before dash on the settlement date before 8:30 a.m. on the settlement date. The value of derivative is derived from only the underlying index, only the underlying reference rate, only the underlying asset. Mm, or all of the above. The answer is fourth, all of the above. Dash through broking firm have made investing in IPOs very simple. Offline trading, electronic trading, manual trading, and physical trading. Electronic trading through broking firms have made investing in IPO very simple. Clearing of trades refers to the process initiated when an agreement to buy or sell of equity shares or derivative instrument is made through the exchange. True. Bulk deal is defined in terms of which of the following parameters? Total quantity of shares is defined in terms of the bulk deal. Which accounts are used to receive shares from selling clients and to send shares to buy clients during the process of clearing and settlement trade? Pool account. Pool account are used to receive shares from selling clients and to send shares to buying clients during the process of clearing and settlement trade. Why do the members of a stock exchange give details of internal shortage to the clearing corporation for the purpose of squaring up, for the purpose of avoiding penalty, for the purpose of self auction? All of the above. The correct answer is for the purpose of self auction. For the purpose of sell auctions, members of a stock exchange give details to internal shortage to the clearing corporation. Money will be debited from the dash account in normal stock buy order. Money will be debited from buyer's account in the normal stock buy order. When the initial margin and extreme loss margin payable by the clients whenever demanded on a upfront basis during the trade and just after the trade. It is on a upfront basis. On a upfront basis is the initial margin and extreme loss margin payable by the clients. Span method calculating margin requirements is for trade done on the equity segments, on the future and option segment, on government securities, all of them. SPAN method of calculating margin requirement is for trade done on the future and option segment. The VAR margin for liquid stock are based on dash of the stock profitability, volatility, price to earning ratio, and earning per share. The correct answer is volatility. The VAR margin for liquid stocks are based on volatility of the stock. An issuer of securities who is desirous of listing its securities on an organized stock exchange will execute a listing agreement in terms of SEBI issue capital and disclosure requirement regulations 2018, SEBI prevention of insider trading regulation 2050, SEBI intermediaries regulation 2008, SEBI listing obligations and disclosures requirement regulation 2015. The correct answer is SEBI listing obligation and disclosure requirements regulation 2015. Script sigma means the volatility of the security computed as at the end of the previous trading day. State whether it is true or false. It is true. What is the process called in which the clearing corporation becoming a buyer to every seller and seller to every buyer? Clearing, settlement, innovation, and novation. That is novation. Novation is the process in which clearing corporation becoming a buyer to every seller and seller to every buyer. Risk management framework is specified by SEBI to ensure settlement of trades consist of which of the following components: base minimum capital, liquid asset, net worth, base minimum capital, and liquid asset. The fourth option is correct. Risk management framework specified by SEBI to ensure settlement of trade consists of base minimum capital and liquid asset, in which process of placing an order over internet or phone by a client, the client may be required to provide accurate answer to the question asked by the dealing desk executive. These questions can be client user ID, TPIN, both of them of client user ID plus TPIN. Any adjustment for corporate action would be carried out on the last day of on which a security is traded on X basis, cum basis, both of them or none of them. The answer is X basis plus cum basis. Any adjustment for corporate action would be carried out on the last date on which a security is traded as both of them are X basis and cum basis. The order of SEBI under the securities laws are appealable before Securities Appellate Tribunal. The orders of SEBI under the securities laws are applicable before Securities Appellate Tribunal. According to the liquidity categorization of securities, the impact cost of liquid security should be less than or equal to 1. According to the liquidity categorization of security, the impact cost of liquid security should be less than or equal to 1%. Funds are raised in the securities market by which of the following institution? Mutual fund, bank, financial institution, all of them. The correct answer is all of them. The broker may give request to the clearing corporation to deliver the securities directly in the purchase demat account. State whether true or false. True. Arbitration can be considered as a judicial power, law-bound, law-bound, non-quasi fully. Arbitration can be considered as a quasi-judicial process. The factors which have to be taken into consideration by clearing corporations while deciding the fair quantum of core settlement guarantee fund are risk management system in force, track record of default of members, both of them. Risk management system in force plus track record of default of members. A broker of trading member who is desirous of providing depository to investors should be registered with SEBI as a depository participant. A broker or a trading member who is desirous of providing depository services to investors should get registered with SEBI as a depository participant. In India, financial market, the debt market is broadly divided into dash and dash. Secured and unsecured debt. In India, financial market, the debt market is broadly divided into secured debt and unsecured debt. Sorry, I was wrong. In the Indian financial market, the debt market is broadly divided into GSEC market and corporate bond market. My bad, I'm sorry. In India financial market, the debt market is gradually converted into GSEC market and corporate bond market. Protection of the investors, protection of the interest of investors is a paramount importance of the intermediaries, the stock exchange, and the regulator associated with the market. The protection of the interest of dash is the paramount importance of the for the intermediaries, the stock exchange, and the regulator associated with the market. The correct answer is investor. Professional clearing members are those who can clear the trade of member who choose to clear and settle the trade through these members. State true or false? True. Margin is applicable on upfront basis in equity derivative segment for family office, mutual fund, or individuals, all of the above. The open position of the clearing member is calculated by summing up dash clearing through them. All the open position of the custodial participant and all trading members. Mr. Rohan has bought the future contract of rupees 5,76,000 and what the SDT 5,76,000 multiplied by 0.02 and you will get the answer of 115.2. Identify the correct statement with respect to portfolio management services. And PMS, the portfolio manager, take the investment decision on behalf of the clients. PMS normally offer the retail investor who invest amount below 2 lakh. If a broker wants to offer PMS services, he has to obtain a separate SEBI license for it. A and C are correct. In PMC, the portfolio manager takes the investment decisions on behalf of the client. If the broker wants to offer PMC services, so PMS services, he has to obtain a separate SEBI license for it. If on the auction day there are no seller, non-delivery of particular short delivery, the creating corporation will close out the deal at whichever is higher from the above. For which type of securities is margin trading facility available? Securities which are classified as Group 1 by SEBI, classified as Group 2 by SEBI, securities which is a part of index, all of the above. The correct answer is security which are classified as Group 1 by SEBI. Any trade that is cleared and settled without the participation of clearing corporation is called off-market trade. Any trade that is cleared and settled without the participation of clearing corporation is called off-market trade. What type of evidence are kept by stockbroker while executing the order of their clients? The email from the client's authorized email ID, physical record written and signed by the client, log for internet transactions, all of them. The correct answer is all of the above. The Investor Protection Fund is established by the Stock Exchange, SEBI, Stockbrokers Clearing Member. The correct answer is Stock Exchange. The Investor Protection Fund is established by the Stock Exchange. In which of these market did SEBI introduce the application support by blocked amount? Facility derivative market, debt public issue market, equity IPO market. The correct answer is B and C, debt public issue market and equity IPO market. Identify the correct statement with respect to margin shortfall. Till there are three margin shortfall in a month, no penalty is imposed. If there is no fulfillment of only a part margin obligation, it is not treated as violation. Neither A nor B is true. As per SEBI, the stockbroker shall fund securities lying to credit of the client within dash working day of the request if the same are lying with him, and within dash working days from the request if the same are lying with the clearing member or clearing corporation. The correct answer is 1 is to 3. Which of these can be the underlying asset for a derivative, commodity, equity, foreign exchange? All of them. The correct answer is all of the above. Span margin uses value at risk to compute initial margin, but it improves upon by generating 16 what if scenarios. Span margin uses value at risk to compute the initial margin, but it improves upon generating dash what if scenario, 16 what if scenario. An entity broker who wishes to provide depository services to investor has to get registered with SEBI as depository risk participant. An equity broker who wishes to provide depository services to investor has to get registered with SEBI as depository participant. For a normal sell order of a stock, money will be credited first to the dash account, trading members account. For a normal sell order of a stock, money will be credited first to the trading member account. Which risk arises from the possibility that the entity may not be able to enforce a contract against another party? That is legal. Legal risk arises from the possibility that the entity may not be able to enforce a contract against another party. In the arbitration process, the arbitration has to be concluded by the way of issue of the arbitral award within calendar days, dash calendar days from the appointment matter 30. In the arbitration process, the arbitration has to be concluded by the way of issue an arbitral award within 30 calendar days from the appointment matter. Which of these is considered as an institutional investor for the purpose of institutional transaction in the gas market? Listed corporates, insurance company, bank, mutual fund. The money market provides short-term debt financing and dash avenues. It is investment. The money market provides the short-term debt financing and investment avenues. Which of these documents are mandatory by completing the KYC of an investor? PAN whenever it's applicable, proof of address, proof of identity. All A and B and C are correct. Identify the correct statement with respect to mark-to-market margin in equity segment. A MTM margin is released when pay an MTM loss is calculated by marking each transaction in security to closing price of the security at the end of trading. MTM loss can be adjusted against cash and cash equivalent component. All A, B, and C are correct. Which of these activity which of these activities is carried out by clearing corporation? Collection of margin, maintaining the margin, processing for shortage in funds and securities? All of them. The correct answer is all of them. The portfolio manager shall not accept from the client funds or securities worth less than rupees 50 lakh. The portfolio manager shall not accept from the client funds or securities worth less than rupees 50 lakh. If the clearing and settlements of trades, the clearing process dash the trading process. Clearing process follows The trading process. The stockbrokers have to validate the stock trade orders placed by the investors before routing through the subbroker, clearing bank, branches, or exchange. The correct answer is exchange. The stockbroker has to validate the stock trade order placed by the investors before routing through the exchange. When does the delivery of underlying instruments and cash settlement in derivative trading occurs? After expiration, after premature exercise. Both 1 and 2. None of them. The correct answer is both 1 and 2. Which company pools money from many investors who wish to make the investment having similar investment objective? The correct answer is a mutual fund company. For a client having an outstanding obligation of the settlement date, the stockbroker may retain the requisite securities funds towards such obligations and may also retain the funds expected to be required to meet margin obligation for next trading day. The calculated in manner to specified by the exchange. The answer is 5. After the trade is executed by the broker on the stock exchange, the seller of the securities gives the delivery instruction to his dash to move securities from the account to his broker account depository participant. After the trade is executed by the broker on a stock exchange, the seller of the securities gives delivery instruction to his depository participants to move the securities from his account to his broker account. As per National Stock Exchange, the monthly client-wide funding report has to be submitted to it within 7 days from the end of month. True or false? True. Upon the conclusion, the arbitration proceeding and insurance of the arbitral award, when such arbitral award requires payment of any amount by the market participant, then such payment shall be made by the market participant within a period of 15 calendar days from the date of arbitral award. In the auction closeout process, the buyer is compensated by paying the value of the short delivered security from price prevailing in the stock exchange from the day of trading till the auction day, or 20% above the official closing price on the auction day, whichever is higher. What are mark-to-market losses on outstanding settlement obligation of the member, known as mark-to-market loss margin? Which additional facilities are provided to the stock exchange to the broker along with the order entry? The facility submit the bulk order using offline order entry facility, the facility to take online backup of orders entered by the user for the day, the facility to print the confirmation slip either online or offline, all of them. The correct answer is all of them. The movement of fund takes place the deposit as the depository system. The movement of fund takes place within the depository system. A trading cum clearing member of a currency derivative exchange can trade on their client behalf, clear and settle his own trade as well as of those other members who can choose to take his services, execute trade on his behalf. All of them. The correct answer is all of the above. Depository participants on the instruction of depository takes the responsibility of distribution of non-cash corporate benefits. State true or false. The answer is true. A clearing member failing to discharge his funds obligations relating to settlement dues, margins money, or non-settlement dues due to notified time shall render him liable for withdrawal of trading facilities or such other actions, including disciplinary action, as may be decided by the relevant authority. Dash settlement is the mechanism of settling trades done on the stock exchange on T and X trading days. X could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The correct answer is rolling settlement. One of the way the cash benefit is distributed by an issuer of a security is bonus shares, cash dividend, ESOP, capital gains. The correct answer is cash dividend. Once the order is dash, a trade is said to be executed. Once the order is matched, a trade is said to be executed. The impact cost shall be the percentage price movement caused by an order size of rupees 1 lakh from the average of the best bid and offer price in the order book snapshot. The answer is true. The SEBI prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practices relating to the security market regulation 2003 enables SEBI to investigate into cases of market manipulation, unfair trade practices, fraudulent trade practices, all of them. The correct answer is all of the above. Market risk can be caused by rising physical gap, economies development, political destabilization, all of them. Market risk can be caused by all of the above. Most of the large trade in debt instruments are settled through dash route of market route. Dash is restored to when there is a default of delivery by broker as auction. Auction is restored to when there is a default in delivery by a broker. Custodians are clearing members of the exchange and not brokers who trade on behalf of foreign institutional investors. Stay true or false? True. The primary responsibility of the regulating the Indian securities market lies with SEBI. While settling the account, the broker shall send to the client dash contacting an extract from the client ledger for fund, the statement of accounts. While settling the account, the broker shall send to a client a statement of account contacting an exact from the ledger of account. In the clearing process for cash segment, the clearing corporation house group the trades under the various clearing members and informs them about the transaction of their respective clients too. When savers place their funds at the disposal of spenders in the financial market, the benefit they get is R, capital appreciation, interest, dividend, all of them. The correct answer is all of the above. Can the broker give request to the clearing corporation to deliver the securities directly in the purchases account? State yes or no? Yes. DAS provide important infrastructure services to both primary and secondary markets. The custodian, the registrar and transfer agent, the depository, all of the above. All of the above is the correct answer. Operational risk is the risk of monetary loss resulting from inadequate or failed external event, internal process, manual and system errors, all of them. The correct answer is all of them. Minimum percent of the base minimum capital deposits shall be in the form of cash and cash equivalents. 50%. Minimum 50% of the base minimum capital deposits shall be in the form of cash and cash equivalents. NSDL handle the settlement of MSXI, formerly MCX. State true or false? False. If the auction seller fails to deliver the securities, then he shall be penalized unless otherwise specified. State true or false? It is true. Money market is the market for dash term funds. Money market is a market for short term funds. Clearing members from for buy order and sell order are different from giving corporation act as a link there. Here, true. The adjustment factor for the stock split in the ratio is A to B is A divided by B. The correct option is C. If a standing instruction is not given, the transferee has to give separate instructions each time for receiving the security state, whether it's true or false. It is true. The base minimum capital requirement for all trading members, brokers with algo is rupees 50 lakh. The base minimum capital requirement for all trading members or brokers with algo is rupees 50 lakh. A trading member with her net buy positions will owe securities funds to the clearing corporation. A trading members with a net buy position will owe both securities and funds to the clearing corporation. In case of trading member, stockbroker, the operational risk includes non-delivery of shares, trading errors, non-payment by clients, all of them. As per SEBI, stock exchange in India cannot introduce derivative on foreign stock indices like Dow Jones, etc. False. When does the delivery of the underlying shares or cash settlement occur? After expiration, after premature expiration, either one or two. The correct option is either one or two. Stockbroker and subbroker have to maintain a separate book of accounts. True or false? True. Stockbrokers and subbrokers have to maintain a separate book of accounts. The additional capital requirement at any point of time shall be such that base minimum capital is not less than of the gross outstanding business in the exchange. 5%, 8%, 12%, 16%. The correct answer is 8%. Thank you.